The sad truth about Justin Bieber being exploited as a kid. Justin Bieber, a Canadian musical phenomenon, soared to global popularity with an unprecedented rate of speed. However, his path behind the scenes was everything but beautiful. Despite the fact that he is now a seasoned musician who has received a multitude of honors and has millions of admirers, the path that he walked as a child star was filled with exploitation, emotional problems, and a lack of control over his own life. The extreme demands that Justin Bieber encountered had a long-lasting influence on his mental health, relationships, and personal development. This is similar to the situation that many young stars in the entertainment industry face: early discovery and swift stardom. A talent manager named Scooter Braun found Justin Bieber on YouTube when he was only 12 years old. This discovery brought about a dramatic transformation in Justin Bieber's life. While he was growing up in Stratford, Ontario, Justin Bieber could be described as a typical youngster who would perform cover songs for fun. On the other hand, once Braun recognized his potential, he was rapidly integrated into a wider system that was intended to transform him into a worldwide popular figure. Bieber's meteoric rise to stardom occurred much more quickly than anyone could have predicted, beginning with the release of his first single, One Time, in 2009, and his first album, My World, followed shortly thereafter. As early as the age of 15, he was already on the road, making appearances in public and being pushed as the next big thing in the world of teen romance. Despite the fact that his journey to stardom appeared to be a dream come true, it yet came at the expense of his youth. At the same time as his contemporaries were navigating the challenges of high school and puberty, Justin Bieber was abruptly forced into the spotlight and millions of people were watching him. He was forced to mature in a highly controlled setting where the demands of the industry took precedence over his own personal well-being. Every action he took was analyzed by the media, and he had to mature in this harsh environment. The enormous pressure of fame. When I was so young, I was already in the public eye, which came with a great deal of pressure. It was not only anticipated of Justin Bieber that he would produce success after hit, but it was also expected of him that his image would stay polished, appealing, and marketable to his adolescent fan base. As a result of the enormous expectations that his management and the music industry put on him to uphold his boy-next-door persona, there was little room for him to make errors or demonstrate personal development. The demands of the industry were unrelenting. He was constantly performing, recording, and conducting interviews, and his life was dominated with touring. Because of his hectic schedule, he did not have much time to experience the typical developmental milestones that come with adolescence. It was difficult to cope with the demand to be perfect. For the sake of the cameras, Bieber was compelled to keep a smile on his face, thereby repressing any feelings or challenges that he might have been experiencing behind closed doors. On the inside, the fame that appeared to be attractive from the outside was actually isolating that person. He had a difficult time trusting many people, and those who were close to him were frequently more concerned with his capacity to earn income than they were with his mental and emotional well-being. Any blunder or moment of rebellion, which is typical for any teenager, was sensationalized by the media. Bieber was frequently represented as a reckless or spoiled superstar rather than a young person laboring under a tremendous weight. This was because the media portrayed him from a different perspective: exploitative management and control. In spite of the fact that Scooter Braun was a significant contributor to the beginning of Justin Bieber's career, the management style that he was subjected to contained elements of exploitation. In the entertainment world, particularly when it comes to young stars, there is a power imbalance that is all too typical. This imbalance was at the heart of this situation. In the majority of the contracts and economic arrangements that Justin Bieber was involved in when he was a minor, his management team and record labels were given a prominent position. It was mainly out of his control to make decisions regarding his professional life and his financial situation, and he had very little control over the path that his life would take. In addition to commercial decisions, this lack of authority extended to other areas. Bieber's entire character, from his appearance to his music, was methodically managed by those who stood to benefit financially from his actions. His identity was molded to conform to the requirements of a commercial brand, which left him with very little room to express who he truly was during his lifetime. The music industry viewed him as a product that needed to be sold, and as a result, they turned his talent and image into a commodity. In the name of success, it frequently drove him to the point of exhaustion. It was needed of him to labor long hours, performing in front of crowds and media outlets on a consistent basis, even when he was completely weary. Emotional isolation and media scrutiny. The unusual quantity of media attention that Bieber received, which was frequently to an unhealthy degree, was brought about by the extreme level of celebrity that he experienced. Every facet of his life, both on and off stage, was documented by the media and paparazzi who followed him around and harassed him. Bieber, in contrast to the majority of adolescents, did not have any privacy. Every one of his blunders, regardless of how little they were, became front-page news. People experienced emotions of isolation and loneliness as a result of the constant observation. While the public witnessed the fame, money, and adulation from fans, Justin Bieber suffered with the reality of feeling misunderstood and stuck in a public character from which he was unable to escape. Bieber started to exhibit signs of strain when he hit his late teens as a result of the enormous amount of pressure he was under. He struggled with substance misuse, had erratic conduct, and had significant legal difficulties that were brought to public attention. It didn't take long for the media to label him a bad boy, opting to sensationalize his blunders rather than taking into consideration the more fundamental mental health issues that were coming into play. The young man who was struggling with melancholy, anxiety, and the tremendous burden of fame was hiding behind the defiant front that he presented to the world. In subsequent interviews, Justin Bieber acknowledged that he experienced a profound sense of isolation and disorientation, as he was unable to pinpoint his true identity apart from the public persona of his famous status. The toll on mental health. As he grew older, Justin Bieber became more forthcoming about the impact that his early stardom had on his mental health. He disclosed that the persistent pressures of being in the spotlight caused him to have feelings of inadequacy, high levels of anxiety, and profound depression. In interviews and on social media, Justin Bieber has stated that the expectations that were placed on him at such a young age made it challenging for him to develop a consistent sense of who he is. He stated that during his difficult late teens and early 20s, he struggled with emotions of self-doubt, emotional numbness, and guilt about his activities. He also admitted that he felt guilty about his actions. A broader reflection on child stardom. The experiences that Justin Bieber has had are a vivid representation of the larger problem of child popularity and the exploitation that frequently comes along with it. When young stars are thrown into the public view without the requisite support structures, their mental and emotional well-being is frequently neglected in favor of profit. This is the case for a great number of young stars. Young performers are frequently subjected to a great deal of pressure from the entertainment industry to maintain a polished image and continuously provide content, despite the fact that they are still in a process of emotionally and psychologically maturing. These precautions include more equal contracts, resources for mental health, and a support structure that prioritizes the well-being of young performers over their commercial success. Conclusion. The path that Justin Bieber took from being a kid from a tiny village to being one of the most famous pop singers in the world is not only a story of incredible talent, but also the emotional toll that early popularity took on him. His story sheds light on the exploitation and emotional struggles that he went through along the way, despite the fact that he has emerged from the most difficult times in his life with a newfound sense of self-awareness. The experiences that Justin Bieber has had serve as a reminder that the entertainment business has to do more to protect young artists from the negative consequences that fame and exploitation may have on them. Important talks regarding how young stars are treated have been generated as a result of his advocacy for mental health awareness and his open insights on personal challenges he has experienced in the past. It is essential that the industry evolves as well, placing the well-being of young artists ahead of profit and making sure that they have the room to grow and thrive on their own terms. As society continues to advance in its awareness of mental health and the issues